If there's something you haven't manifested yet in your life, or you've never been successful at trying to get it, it just means that you've told your mind the wrong messages and you've told your intuition that you don't want it. And all you really need to do is reprogram yourself to want the thing that you want. So as human beings, we do something really interesting when we want something. When we really covet something, we'll say, oh, I want that guy with the six pack, except he's probably a player. So we say we want something, but then we put something else in there that says we don't want it. So there are a couple reasons we do this. First of all, we have negative experiences in life that cause us to make those comments that go, oh, I want this, but then there will be this consequence. And that blocks that thing from manifesting in your life. But number two, sometimes you genuinely don't want the shiny thing that you think you might want, and you just have to think a little bit more clearly about what you actually do want. So for example, somebody might think that they want a job, but when they actually get in the job and start doing it, they realize how hard it is. Maybe they think they want to work in Hollywood, and then they actually get there and they see people are kind of sexist, or they worship people who are a size 0, and then they realize maybe this isn't for me after all. So we can be like that in our manifestations and in our desires too. We have to think deeply about what we really want long term, what our values are, and how we can meet those in the best way possible long term. And then when you figure that out and you actually know what you want, then you reprogram your mind to help you and your intuition to go after what you want. So once you know, like, I do want this type of person, and you specify what they have, the attributes that you're looking for that are most important to you, then you have to take out all the negativity. You have to remove those from your belief system. And you might think, but Leah, there are people out there who are players. There are people who don't treat people well in relationships. Well, write about that and journal about that and see if you can come up with a plan that'll help protect yourself from that so that you actually achieve your goal long term. So you're not having these short-term thoughts coming in and blocking you unconsciously from going for the long-term thing. And then you'll be able to move forward on your journey and actually make progress. It's just that we haven't thought things all the way through, and that's why we don't manifest what we want all of the time. If you actually took the time to think all the way through what you really wanted, and then you had the discipline to keep going after it and keep taking steps in order to achieve the thing that you wanted, whether it was a relationship, whether it was a home or a job, whatever it is that you really want, you can have, but you just have to figure out how you can run that marathon to get through to the results. And it's worth it to take that journey to get to the things that you want. And there's no wrong answer about what you should want. If you want a marriage and having a child, just because somebody else doesn't want that doesn't mean you're wrong to want that. If you want $1 million in the bank and you don't want any spouse or children, there's nothing wrong with wanting that either, as long as you think about your needs and priorities all the way through and you make a plan to make that happen in a way that's authentic and serves society. One key about money is if you want to make more of it, you have to figure out a way to serve society. That's how we end up earning more, is by helping more people. So when you've figured out that trajectory and you've got the discipline to follow through on it, it's not enough to just think about things, but actually the thinking about it can be the missing piece for a lot of people. Some people have discipline, but they're exhausted from maintaining their discipline to the day-to-day stuff. And so they don't think they can add on another goal, dream, or ambition. So that's one block that people have. But the other people might be really out there in space and think they want everything, but then they have no discipline to follow through on everything. But you can actually imagine everything that you want and have the discipline to follow through on everything that you want, even if it appears to be in conflict. You just need to write down a plan and see how you can make it happen. Some people will say, having a family is not really conducive to having money because families cost money. Having children costs money, getting housing costs money. And there are a lot of wealthy people who have children, and the family background actually helps them in attaining more wealth. So it really depends on what your goals are, how you plan to achieve the wealth. But what appears to be in conflict may not actually be in conflict if you execute your plans correctly and you think things through to the end and you have the discipline and the execution to get there. And that's the most important thing, is to have the discipline and the execution and not get exhausted and not forget about your vision on the way there. But it's also important to remove your limiting beliefs. If you believe that you can't have something, even if you have the discipline, even if you imagine it, if there's some other part of you that just believes it can't happen, then it's not going to happen. The way to get over that is you have to keep telling yourself that you're worthy. You need to be your own best parent and remind yourself that you are already good enough, that you are already worthy of having that thing that you imagine come into your life. That if it's not good enough the way it is today, that you deserve something better, and that something better is waiting for you and wants you to come find it. It's like that beautiful home that somebody is trying to sell and you're trying to manifest bringing it into your life as the buyer. So you need to keep your mind focused on things that are good for you. You need to keep working on your discipline. You need to pivot and be flexible in your plans. And it's also critically important to find ways to enjoy the journey on the way there. If you're saving for something big, it's going to take stamina. It's going to take time for you to say no to many other opportunities in order to get that allotted amount of money aside, in order to say yes to the thing that you truly want. And so you need to find ways to make yourself happy. That might be going out into nature. That might be pursuing friendships that are really nurturing to you. That might mean going and visiting the animal shelter and taking care of the animals there. Whatever that looks like to you, you need to find meaningful activities that are going to carry you through and give your life meaning on the way to the goal. And then if you're able to do that and be grateful for everything you've got going on in your life every single day, then that's going to make the journey a lot more pleasant, and the likelihood of you finally reaching that finish line is so much greater.